Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we're super happy to have you here. And if you've been listening and enjoying for a while, I would be super grateful if you would please take a moment to give us a review on Apple Podcasts. It's one of the best and simplest ways to pay it forward and help others find the show so that they too can tap into the powerful perspectives and positive vibrations we are collectively emanating. The other unique and magical way to share this show is by sending any friends you think would benefit from listening to this podcast our Game with the Universe link at positivehead.com/game. Also listed in the show notes, which will serve them up a quote-unquote random episode when they click it. Just instruct them before clicking the link to close their eyes for a moment and sincerely ask the universe to queue up the episode that contains the insight and perspectives that they most need to hear at this point in their life journey, and then click to listen to whatever episode is synchronistically served up to them. I have heard time and time again from people about the incredible results they received playing the game. So just tell your friends magical results are guaranteed or their karma back. All right, all you positive heads, welcome, welcome. Here we grow again. It is a fabulous, very rainy Friday here in Los Angeles. And I was feeling a little gloomy because of all the rain. So luckily my friend Joshua Kriger jumped in, swung by to join me as a impromptu guest today. Josh, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man? I just came for the hug, man. You give great hugs.
That's true. My hugs are world renowned. Speaking of hugs, I just got back from Envision Festival and a lot of hugging, a lot of hippies hugging. So I'm just reacclimating back to non-jungle life. And we've been talking about doing this for a minute with Outer Edge, formerly NFT LA, coming up, and that's your baby. As a fellow podcast host and friend, is like, I thought this would be cool to do. So that's sort of the aim and idea behind today's episode. And I think one of the things that, well, first off, let's just throw out up front, the event itself, just to get that out there for those who are in LA or can even make it virtually, dates, and maybe you can give like a high level, and then let's talk a little bit about, the state of the union with NFTs and cryptocurrency and blockchain. And, even you guys are doing a whole wellness event and you have a very wellness centric focus. We're actually going to co-create that event with you here at the Mystic Manor. So, I'd love to touch on all of that, but yeah, first things first, tell the folks about the event.
Yeah, so this is our second year, and we've evolved. It feels like everything has evolved quite quickly over the last year. So we named the event this year Outer Edge LA to sort of encompass the full scope of conversations around how emerging technology is intersecting with life as humans, in particular, since we're in LA, which is such a cultural and creative epicenter. How does it interact with art and music and fashion and entertainment and wellness, and social impact, philanthropy? So it's a mix of really incredible talks with world-renowned speakers, as well as sort of intimate networking and satellite events, as well as some music involved, and of course, some fun parties as well. That goes with any kind of fun community gathering.
Yeah. March 20th to 23rd?
That's right. So it actually kicks off with a hackathon on the 18th and 19th. And this isn't your average hackathon. It's for creators too. If you have a creative bone in your body, you should at least apply to the hackathon and join, because you get a free access to the event. You get to hang out with builders and sort of create something fun.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know what's going to come out of that event, but there's over $10,000 in prizes.
Wow.
And it's a really cool event. It's going to be in Santa Monica on the 18th and 19th. Monday is sort of an informal gathering, community gathering downtown. And then the core event is Tuesday and Wednesday at the LA Convention Center. And then the fun continues. So on Thursday is Community Day. And we're having events all over LA, including the collaboration with Hello Vacay and Peace Inside Live, which is a day of wellness in Venice, California.
Yeah. So you guys have probably heard me mention Hello Vacay before. That's my travel company that is partnered with Booking, Priceline. We have access to unpublished private travel rates, and we have been for some time working on a new platform with that's gated with, if you have a particular NFT, you get access to various levels of discounts and, vacay delay. If you're ever delayed at the airport, you can get into the lounge and different things like that. And this worked out perfectly as we're just starting, getting to the point we're ready to roll out this new platform. And so, that's how we kind of came together here, is like, look, let's offer this as a gift to people who attend. Save money on your hotels when you're coming out if you come out for the event. And that's.
I love it. I'm really excited. I've been enjoying using the product. I mean, I think I look at Outer Edge LA as sort of a potluck dinner, and everyone's bringing something fun to the table. And we have people that are traveling, and budgets are tighter right now. So
a little different from this year, last year to this year, with kind of everything that's happened in the world of blockchain and NFTs and crypto, huh?
Yeah, I think that, and that's a conversation topic. I was just chatting with my friend Neil Strauss, who will be one of the speakers, about that. We have to talk about these things. Yeah. As we're having this show, Silicon Valley Bank just got taken over by the federal government. And so this isn't just blockchain. I think as a whole, I think the technology industry is dynamic and tumultuous, and so is the challenge of being human and processing all this new technology from a social perspective, which has been a conversation topic for many years, dating back with Facebook, but all these algorithms, all this data, AI, it's a lot to take in, and it's easy to get overwhelmed by it, overstimulated. And part of the conversation at Outer Edge is, how do we ingest all this amazing technology and use it to be our best selves? I went to a fascinating conference in Korea, and I learned about some experiments PwC was using with putting collaboration to the metaverse, and they found a higher percentage of productivity as a result. And I guess it makes sense when you think about it, because you're not on your phones. If you're wearing a headset and you're interacting, you're present with your colleagues. And so we'll be talking about wellness in the metaverse with some really exceptional guests, including Punacha Machaya. I might be butchering his last name, but he's head of Deepak Chopra's Metaverse.
Oh, cool.
And all sorts of amazing people like that will be announced. One individual in particular, I hope we could announce soon. So stay out for social. Also an incredible human being doing something around wellness in the metaverse. But fundamentally, I think it's really exciting to explore how we can build a better humanity by using this technology. More openness, more transparency, more win-wins. Reward systems that aren't sort of making you feel icky.
Right. I think that's a big piece of it, is I think a big draw in the wellness community and conscious community in general is we're so starved for more transparency, less, capitalism, gone wrong energy, which are so much of in our society. And I think, of course, the way I view, and I'm curious, you do a whole podcast, I touch on this sort of stuff from time to time, but it's obviously your world, from throwing the event and the podcast, and you're really deep in it. I'm curious what you think about what we've seen. We've seen sort of these ebbs and flows over the years of people are really excited, it's the hottest thing. Oh, hold on, crash and burn. And the way I view it is, and then back up again. And it's like, it's sort of like the internet in the early days. Like if you look back to, I was just seeing a clip, Josh, the other day. It was like the Today Show or something in 1992. And they're talking about email on it. Like it's, some foreign, land they've never heard of. It's like just watching the way the hosts were talking about email. And you think back, and how, what will it be? What will it do? How does it work? Like, oh, that's weird, and now it's laughable to look back. You think back to the early days of the internet, it was like mainly like porn was like the thing that helped to the tip of the spear, and so I'm curious what you think, as far as the current state being, I guess, not, a bear cycle, if you will. What your thoughts are on, what we'll see
where
next.
we are. Yeah. So for some context, I started the podcast in March of 2021, and we've done over 200 episodes with leaders in the space talking about everything from infrastructure to entertainment to music to fashion.
Edge of
NFT, the podcast.
Yep.
And it's a fun show. We cover AI, and we've had all these different leaders in the space. But my history with blockchain dates back to 2017, 18, before the last big crash. And it was a stark, dark, challenging time back then, and a lot of people pieced out.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't see that same thing happening. I just got back from ETH Denver, which is a really fun builders conference in Denver. I brought my long underwear. Fortunately, I didn't need it. It's actually colder here in LA. But at the end of the day, it was vibrant. It was popping with builders and people that had come to ETH Denver for the first time in a bear market.
Yeah.
And I see that same sort of energy around our event. I mean, we have the president of CBS, Mike Benson, speaking at our event.
Cool.
Right. And we want to ask questions like, how is the entertainment industry looking at Web3? What are they afraid of?
Yeah.
Right. Because what do they need to feel comfortable moving forward and placing their bets? We have Warner Brothers. We have Fox, which has a blockchain division called BCL and has a show called Crapopolis with these chickens that lay eggs a lot and all sorts of fun stuff. And there's all these animation projects out there. We have Toonstar, which is a really exciting animation studio. And there's going to be some big announcements at this event, no doubt. And I think in this time of rebuilding and I think that there's a lot of really important focus on true utility, right? Just similar to any industry that people get really excited by the shiny object. They play with it for a while. It's a bunch of experiments. And then it's like, okay, how do I really take advantage of this technology to make the world better? And I think, we're starting to see use cases like that. And people are getting together at this event to talk about what have we learned and what can we build moving forward. But I think fundamentally we're in the middle of a normal market cycle here.
Yeah.
And it's related not just to blockchain, but technology as a whole. I mean, look at the layoffs at Twitter and Microsoft and Google and Facebook, you name it.
It's been a lot. So, I'm curious what you think, as far as some of the ways that, I know there's people out there that are doing like, universal basic income, NFTs or cryptocurrencies, and some of the stuff to like really the aim is so philanthropic and to level the playing field, and you've got DAOs and all these things. So, I'm just curious if there's anything in particular, being as deeply immersed in the space as you are, that you think, is the most promising that's out there right now.
Well, a couple things. One, there's going to be this really exciting panel at the event on the intersection of blockchain and science. And, we're seeing healthcare records on the blockchain, and we're seeing sort of things out there around the right amount of information, the right amount of privacy. Because you think about it, you go to a bar, you get carded, whether or not you drink alcohol, and, some of your private information is flashed before someone that really you don't want to have that information. So I think we live in a world where it's the right information at the right time in sort of semi-private data. And I think there's that possibility is sort of starting to form, and that's really interesting. I think, the membership side of NFTs is really interesting. The ability to sort of track perks on the blockchain for perpetuity. It's a great use case, as well as the ability to have interactive voting powers around sort of what happens with a community, and that DAO governance structures being public and transparent. I think anytime you open up that black box and people actually get to know what's happening in communities they're part of, I think that enriches trust.
Yeah.
And that enriches the quality and sense of ownership of the community.
Yeah.
Maroon 5, they did this DAO project very early in sort of the NFT world with Yellowheart, and their community got to choose the nonprofits that were contributed to. Super cool way to interact with your community, and that wasn't available before. So I get really excited about use cases like that, interactive entertainment, proof of listening, proof of interaction, where people have skin in the game, and if they're, because I feel like our time is valuable, whether the folks that are participating on your podcast or listening, they're still part of the community, right? Like we as podcasters would be nowhere without our listeners. So how cool would it be if we knew which podcast listeners were listening, how often they were listening. We could reward them for that, with special perks. And I want to have that ability. And I think that type of technology is coming.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious, one of the things that I think is interesting in the space, in that we saw sort of, now it's like all of a sudden everything's AI. And, what a year ago it was metaverse. And so I'm curious what you think about, both those things. Of course, on this show, we talk a lot about wellness and shifting perspectives and, consciousness. And both of those things really touch on, that topic very closely. The idea of we talk all the time about, is this a simulation? Are we in is this a very high level metaverse? Are we sitting on some kid's, shelf in his Xbox 25, in the future, and that's where we live currently, right? I think that's a really fascinating thing to think about. And then of course you get into the AI stuff and the idea of us sort of merging with. I just had the opportunity to talk yesterday. It hasn't come out yet as of this recording. It'll come out next week, but with I interviewed Kevin Kelly, the founder of Wired Magazine, if you're familiar with him.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about, he just got to go to Neuralink and see the monkeys playing video games with their minds, and pretty fascinating. And it all has such spiritual connotations in potential too. So I'm curious what your perspective is on metaverse, its potential. Is it going to lead us to more awareness of ourselves, expanded consciousness? Is it going to cut us off from our true selves? Same with AI. Just curious where your head's at with all that.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I told you I have a firm prediction. I have a hope, and I have a natural cautious optimism here that we want to make the world better through technology. I think that innately, humans are programmed to have this desire, and as a result of that, we're trying our best, and I think good things will come from that. One of my dear friends and speakers at Outer Edge, Flip Benjamin, is working on a project called Rehydrate, which is a wellness metaverse, right, for primarily, I think, for the African American community, and it's really designed around sort of getting grounded and using sort of this technology to be more present in your life and to handle the day-to-day challenges. And we saw recently there's an article, I think, in CoinDesk about Jewel, and she has a metaverse project called Inner World, with over 10,000 people that were having depression, perhaps even suicidal thoughts, have come into this metaverse and gotten,
Wow.
positive experiences as a result of that. So I think those use cases are coming out more and more. Uh, AI can be used for good and evil, like most things in life, right?
Right.
And I think as a result of that, we're gonna see both. We're gonna see a little of both.
I agree.
I don't think it's gonna. I don't think that's gonna change anytime soon. There's gonna be some good news out there, some bad news. I hope that the media covers the good news responsibly and not just the bad news, because I think there is a lot of really cool things that can come out of the metaverse and AI in terms of sharpening creativity
Yeah.
and empowering creators to be better creators. I interviewed an individual that's creating metaverse architecture using AI, where you can build in the metaverse in seconds things that used to take weeks and weeks of engineering. So anyone can build their own metaverse, right? That's really cool. So I feel like those are examples of where this technology can improve. And I've had conversations with artists on my podcast on Twitter Spaces about AI, and there's certainly some skeptics out there, but I think a lot of artists are like, it's here.
Yeah.
Art is art. If it's beautiful, what does it matter?
Yeah.
And I think to the extent that we can sort of architect beauty in the world using technology, then it's a good thing. I don't think technology has to be all bad, and I appreciate people that want to mellow out and not be around technology time and time again. I do that myself. I think that's really important. We'll have those conversations too.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I think you're spot on. It's like we're going to see all of it. It's going to all play out. And what I find for myself that brings me some, peace and allows me to really focus on, feeling optimistic around it all is I believe the more, if I'm sitting here and I'm giving a ton of energy towards, oh my gosh, the cat's out of the bag, it's too late with AI. Oh my gosh, everyone's going to, slip into metaverses and never come out. And, the more energy I give towards the negative side of it, the more that's going to be reaffirmed in my experience, I believe. And the more I'm optimistically looking at the potentials, that's the things that I feel I'll bump up against more. So, I think the world is going to get to be a wilder, more intense place for us in the future, for our future generations for sure. And I think it leads us back to that one core important thing that, like, as the world gets wilder and things get faster and moving, the stakes are higher around us, the more important it becomes to come back to what am I focused on? Where attention goes, energy flows. What part of it am I expecting to see? Am I focused on, I want to see red Volkswagens on the road. I'm going to see a lot of red Volkswagens on the road, and it's like, what do I want to see more of? And I think, as things amplify and heat up and the stakes get higher and more intense, I think it becomes more and more important to, like, okay, what do I stand for? What am I going to focus on? What am I looking for? What am I expecting? And I believe that's how we can navigate the vast potential of reality that can present itself before us.
Yeah, totally. When I hear you say all that, I think about asking yourself the question, what is my personal narrative for how I view the world and live within the world? Like,
Right.
What story am I telling myself about these things? Because at the end of the day, there's 8 sides to every situation, and you get to choose how you look at things,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Yeah. It is. It really is. It's going to become more and more important to realize, like, what lens am I viewing through, and that's, it's crazy because, even looking with the advances with this chat GPT stuff and AI in the last weeks, as of this recording, it's like, what are we seeing? Is this us talking about this and experiencing this? The people from the Today Show in 1992 talking about email, like, where it's going to become ubiquitous and just, like, so ingrained into it's wild to just even speculate how how much things are going to shift.
Yeah, and this is the reason that we do Outer Edge LA, and where we changed the name from NFT LA this year, is because we wanted to create a forum for an open dialogue that happens not only through listening to the talks, but then vibing with people and discussing what was said on stage and processing that information. And that's why, the community day on Thursday is so cool, because there's a chance to keep meeting people,
Yep.
keep learning, but
Yep.
also through that wellness activation that your company Hello Vacay and Peace and Live is doing, as a chance to sort of process all the things that they've learned in a very short amount of time. So I think that's really important for all of us. And in the Web3 space, I know a lot of friends and colleagues took a mental break in December. We all just kind of checked
Yeah.
out. And I think it was really important, because when things move that fast, there's comparisons. Web3, it's like every month is 7 years or 9 years of,
Yeah.
and I think that's just going to continue.
Yeah, so, obviously I'm going to be there. Josh is going to be there if you can make it to LA, or if you can attend virtually. And of course, the Wellness Day is going to be here at the Mystic Manor, which you guys, some of you been to before, have certainly been hearing about for a long time. So I'm really excited to have that. That's the one main event that's off site from the convention, right?
There'll be 4 or 5 events that day on Thursday. There's going to be an esports event, a philanthropy event, an art event,
Cool.
All sorts of fun stuff. And so at that point, it's kind of like you come to the melting pot, the sandbox, if you will. You find your tribe,
Yep.
and then you go for new adventures the rest of the week.
Cool. Love that. So yeah, let's why don't we tell people how they can get a ticket, and whatever details.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go to outeredge.live, and tickets are available. They'll increase in price, so it's always a good idea, if you decide this is for you, to just snag one before the prices go up closer to the event. I think we're gonna do something really special for your community, and give them a special 20% off. We don't.
Awesome.
So Positive Head.
Yeah, use the coupon code.
Yeah, and give you a chance to explore this new community and sort of this convergence of communities. In LA, the weather should be nice by then. It won't be freezing anymore.
Hopefully.
And I think you'll find it such an interesting mix of people at this event, and hopefully, a tribe of people that you can coalesce with, where explorers, continue exploring, the future of possibility for yourself, and maybe related to your career, maybe personal interest, maybe just fascination with the technology and where it's going. But there'll be something for everyone at this event. And there's a general admission ticket, which is awesome, and still includes all the fun community events. And then there's also a VIP ticket, which there's a special dinner on Monday with some of the top speakers at the event, and some performances, and then some other perks that come along with it, including like a certain hoodie that we designed for VIPs. I can't wait to get my hoodie. So
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah, you guys come if you can. Use code POSITIVEHEAD for the discount. Appreciate you doing that. And like I said, we're going to be offering the Hello Vacay Pilot Passport NFT to all attendees. So if you come, you'll get that as well. Those of you who can't make it and would like to get one, you can actually, if you go to hellovacay.com/positivehead, we'll have something set up there for you as well to get an NFT as well. And otherwise, when they go to your site to because of course a lot of people aren't in the LA area, all around the world listening, it makes it really easy to see how you can just tune in.
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure when this will be airing, but pretty soon on our site will be a special place where you can register to get all of the talks that are at the main event, later. So whether you come or not, we want people to have access to this educational content, and there's going to be over 50 talks. So including William Shatner, who's speaking.
Amazing.
It's going to be incredible to have him up there. So many amazing people that will be speaking about what they see as the future possibility. So you can get all of those talks by going to our website as well, outeredge.live. The easiest thing maybe just to register for our newsletter and get updates there.
Gotcha.
You can also check out my podcast at edgeofnft.com or Edge of NFT on social. Just Google us anywhere. We're on all major podcast platforms. And if you're interested in more conversations about the future of blockchain and how it intersects with NFTs and AI and those types of subjects, we have leaders in the space on the show every week.
Amazing. Josh, I appreciate you coming by on this rainy Friday and mixing it up. I always love to when I have a friend just come. I do these solo episodes normally on Friday, so it's a great pleasure to have you here. I look forward to all the co-creations ahead, and thanks for what you do.
Yeah, it's been awesome to have this time together and to collab with you on this event, and I look forward to many more adventures.
All right, folks, that's it for today. That's our story. We're sticking to it. Hope you have a wonderful now moment wherever you receive this broadcast. Until next time, journey well.